one moment.
As Wade just
Yes,
mentioned,
hello.
it's already been a very busy morning up in Mojave. One quick note I want to point out is that this is our third launch now in the world of COVID-19. And as of just a few weeks ago, the California Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or Cal-OSHA, lifted their COVID restrictions in the workplace. The new regulations allow for vaccinated employees to work mask-free if they choose. So when we show views from Mission Control and the Hammerhead,
All right, everyone. I know that I am very lagged, so bear with me. I am operating off of a cell phone hotspot where I'm currently located, but this is the only way to make this work. So you can see the Virgin Orbit communication right now.
Break now to let you guys check out some of the operations going on at the Hammerhead, but we'll be back soon with more updates on our Tubular Bells Part 1 mission. Stay tuned.
But I'm going to turn things to a perspective, and you're only vaguely going to be able to see this, if you can see it at all. Uh-oh, shaky camera. I lied. Way down there is Cosmic Girl, still sitting as near as I can tell where she was before. No evidence of any movement along the tarmac at this time. But I can see the lights. If you're looking over, there's some aircraft. Well, you probably can't even see that from the angle that I can see, but the boneyard is over there. The reason I'm positioned so far away, by the way, is because coming in right from about this angle is going to be Cosmic Girl
Welcome back. Since this is the first time we're streaming to the public, we wanted to take some time to talk a little bit about who we are and what we do.
Have we
here at
lost
Virgin
audio,
Orbit.
or am I just
Virgin
being
Orbit was
quiet?
founded in 2017 to pursue our goal of improving access to space to improve life here on Earth. We're particularly interested in unleashing the full potential of small satellites, which are proving to be incredibly valuable, low-cost tools for education, business, scientific research, and more. Small satellites have historically suffered from a lack of launch options outside of rideshares. So by providing a dedicated
Audio is back.
we hope to provide small satellite makers
I am
and
thrilled
operators
beyond
more
all
control
belief.
over their launch schedules
So
and
once
their
again,
ultimate orbital destinations.
the reason I am way the hell out here is because this is the angle that the plane's going to be taking off from. Cosmic Girl will be taking off
rocket launcher 1 and
from
second,
this
our carrier
perspective.
aircraft, which we call Cosmic Girl. Jumping into launcher 1, she's capable of lifting up to 300 kilograms or 650 pounds to low Earth orbit. She's comprised of 2 stages, both of which use liquid oxygen, or LOX, and RP1 as the fuel. Each stage has an individual engine. On first stage, we use an engine called Newton 3, which will run for about 3 minutes today. And then on second stage, we have an engine called Newton 4.
And for those of you who may be able to see all of those aircraft tails from this angle,
made of carbon composite and was purpose-built for this.
as I said before, that is the aircraft boneyard.
We started our search across the world of what plane to use and finally settled on using a 747. When looking for the right 747 to join our team, that new member, we searched the world far and wide and settled on something that was actually very close to home with our friends at Virgin Atlantic. And in 2015, we were able to have Cosmic Girl join our family. She, in her service, was actually named Cosmic Girl.
So if you look just to the right of all that, there's going to be one flashing light, and that's where Cosmic Girl is located. So let's get a show of hands. Does anybody want to try to see this thing up close? Because I can get there in the space of a few minutes.
It's just unparalleled in mobility and provides a way to create new missions and greater flexibility for all these small satellites that are joining the small sat revolution. So we hope that with this, we'll be able to bring responsive air launch and responsive launch to the world, and such that you can go to any orbit at any time from anywhere.
Okay, looks like we have a vote for up close. I'm going to try to head in that direction.
Ground control for LC, I believe we'll have one more pulse on the S2 cryo bottle before meeting our minimum target.
Copy that. Thank you. Grounding. Appreciate the update.
This is the frontage road on Highway 14. And we'll flip around here where Cosmic Girl has been parked. And then we're going to get a view as to whether or not she's getting prepped, whether or not she's ready to taxi. All that fun stuff. Right now, she's precisely where she was before, which is not what I expected at all. The nice thing about Mojave, you can get places really
Go ahead.
fast.
Okay, we are good to proceed with step 130. and
Really,
reporting
really,
the
really
CCTV.
fast.
Copy that.
Once again, definitely not missing anything. There is nothing currently on the tarmac. So to give you guys some quick information, assuming you can hear me over the roar of the engine, this aircraft and this mission could not be more important for Virgin Orbit. I don't know about the rest of you, but I am on pins and needles. This means a lot to this company, a hell of a lot. They did their first demonstration. They had some packages on board, whereas importance, they didn't represent the financial future of Virgin Orbit. This definitely represents the future of this company. You have several small sats from the U.S. military. You have a small sat from the Belgian Air Force, and some people who are not from Europe may think, oh, the Belgian Air Force, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is you've got the headquarters of NATO located right in Antwerp. So anything that happens with the Belgian Air Force is going to affect Virgin Orbit's relationship with NATO.
And then Auto 52 is next.
And then finally you have Sat
Okay,
Revolution
Auto 52, S1,
with
S1,
two
load, aborting in 3, 2, 1.
Confirmed.
You have two satellites from Sat Revolution, Stork 1 and Stork 2. And those are going to be part of a constellation that's going to comprise over 1,000 satellites one day. And Virgin Orbit, for the most part, has an exclusive deal with them until 2026. So these are contracts that are going to affect Virgin Orbit for the next half decade at the very least. This mission has to go right if they want to keep going as a company. Yes, they had one successful mission. Yes, they sent up some packages. Yes, those packages were important. They don't approach the importance, at least in terms of finances, that the rest of this stuff does. It's not even close.
Step and notify LC if any action is required.
That's on Bravo come.
After Bravo come. Copy, thank you.
So it is absolutely critical, really critical, that this mission go off well for Virgin Orbit. Of course, any mission is important to any organization, but Virgin Orbit is a company that's just getting its feet wet with, as we all know, or most of us know, one successful mission, just one. So if this goes off well, and they already have some customers lined up, but they are going to secure a hell of a lot of business, because small sats, microsats, CubeSats, etc., those are the future of our presence in low Earth orbit in a big way. These particular satellites are heading to a polar SSO, sun synchronous orbit. For those of you unfamiliar with that, that means that they are constantly in the sun's light. And it's important for that because the Storks run off of a grand total of only 70 watts. 70 watts. So less than a lot of old incandescent light bulbs. So it is of vital importance that these things get to a sun-synchronous orbit where they'll have constant access to the sunlight. And by the way, as tiny as these satellites are, as these Stork satellites are, they can carry CubeSats of their own. They can take up CubeSats for other customers. That is their capability.
Copy that. I have the bounds ready.
By the way, in case you're interested, for those of you who didn't see it, coming up over here, you can see the tail. There is the entrance to the Mojave Spaceport. Yep, she is still here. She is unquestionably still here. I'm getting as close as I dare. And at the same time, even though the military equipment on this mission is not of a visually sensitive nature, and silhouetted, wow, it's just kind of a shadow, but silhouetted against the sun right there. Let me try to adjust this.
LC to rocket. Could we evaluate?
Directly ahead, there she is.
Copy that. Good to clear all at this time.
Copy that. Understood. Clearing all.
And right now, just kind of sitting on the tarmac.
For today's mission, we have hundreds of parameters spread across both the rocket and the airplane. We've gone through and cherry-picked some of the exact best ones to go and give you situational awareness on what's happening up for today's mission. And in particular, we put this together in what we call a graphical user interface, or GUI. I'm going to give you a rundown of one of the GUIs that we'll be sharing with you today. So in particular, when we cut over to this, we're going to be able to see in the dead center of this, this is where I'm going to be focusing the most. And this shows what our loading operations look like. Following along this morning, we started off.
And I'm going to go ahead and start checking out your chats here in just a moment.
Stage and for second stage with LOX and fuel, and even some of the gases that we have on board the rocket are fully fueled. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to be able to
just
see what causes
sitting on the tarmac, nice and quiet right now, without a lot of activity,
this will update as we move
with
through
the sun rising right behind her.
Blank right now, but will be
There we have Cosmic Girl.
We'll have both the altitude, the airspeed.
Okay, so once again, for anybody talking about today's mission is multifold. We are talking about an organization called Sat Revolution. Ooh, I see some cars parked up there. I think I can get even closer. I'm going to try to get closer. Bear with me for just a moment, and I'll answer your question once again. Today's mission involves several different companies. All of them are incredibly important. Sat Revolution, which is putting up 2 small sats, microsats, whatever you want to call them. They're putting up these satellites. And they are visual satellites. They have a resolution of only a little over 5 meters, which means that they can see something as small as my car. Now, obviously, that's not as good as, military satellite resolution or anything like that.
Initiation of 299 whenever we get ready. Super ready. Copy that.
Boy, there's a ton of cars parked here. And I'm really not certain about my personal legality because the cars parked are on the other side of the fence. I may need to relocate where I was before. All right. There it is, guys. And right now, still just sitting here. So this is going to be kind of a lengthy process, no doubt. To get back again to the question, SAT Revolution is a Polish company, and Virgin Orbit seems to have a lot going on with Polish organizations. They seem to be interested in formulating a relationship not only with SAT Revolution. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a look from this angle. And here you go. There she is. I have no idea what those folks are doing parked over there, or indeed how they're there in the first place, unless they just work for this organization, which is possible. It looks like it. Yeah, there's some very clear no trespassing, etc. But given how many cars are out here, maybe I can just kind of blend in. So I'm going to go back to my original hiding spot. But for the most part, what I'm here to do is just kind of give you a you are there sort of experience and let you hear these engines as they fire up, and also to tell you a little bit more about what's going on. And yet, it can't be the press. The press have not been invited to this mission. There's nobody here, no local news. Nobody is permitted to operate here. So, and that was made very clear to me by their PR/communications relations fellow, who, by the way, invited me to future missions. So I am very excited about that. And in case you guys are wondering, I am just finding a good place to get myself turned around. Oh, and by the way, the Comfort Inn, I'm going to go ahead and put in my plug. Nicer people you will never find. If you want to come to Mojave to see a launch, you can't make a better choice. You just can't. This is the only hotel here that really is nice and quiet, perfect for making videos, which is something that I like. And if you want to get a good night's sleep because you have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, as I did today, this is the place to do it. This is definitely the place to do it. So Comfort Inn, Mojave, in case you want to personally visit this spot, unless you know somebody out here or something, which I doubt. This is a very small town, a very small community, but this is indeed the place to go. So I'm heading back to my original spot to have another look. But once again, they don't seem to be firing anything up. They don't seem to be getting ready. Well, thank you very much, Chris. Just got a remark saying congratulations for being at the launch. Thank you. I deeply appreciate that. I am beyond excited to be here. Very excited. So, I mean, I'll tell you, not everybody gets to see this sort of launch, because horizontal launches are not a common thing. Not at all. Nobody does horizontal launches in this day and age except for the Pegasus. That's one of the few exceptions. And the Pegasus charges $40 million to send up their payloads. $40 million. So as a result, you know, they're just not the ideal solution, in my opinion. You know, Virgin Orbit does that for less than 1/3 the price. So, in my opinion, they are definitely the way to go. I'm just going to go down this little dirt road for a tad here. Oh, the sun is rising right behind Cosmic Girl.
All 3 dogs.
I'll try to straighten this out.
001. Deep dot safing launch.
There she is, guys.
2, 1.
Just see the tail in the outline and the sun rising behind Cosmic Girl. God, I wish every last one of you was here. This would be an amazing thing indeed. And for the 120 people who are signed on currently, thank you so much for joining me today. This is a truly wonderful experience for me, and I hope for you as well.
Alpha and Echo at this time.
Right now, I'm just listening for any activity that may be going on. Doesn't appear to be much, but the good news is I don't have anybody coming up to me to run me off. So that's the good news.
Confirmed vent.
I have no idea. Sir Richard, for all I know, is walking through Cosmic Girl at the last second. Who knows what he's up to at the moment? But I'll tell you, this is a colossal deal for him and his organization. It is of extreme importance. Let me see if I can give you something without a windshield glare. I don't know if this is any better or not. Probably not, but we'll at least try it.
LC, CD, LD, and CE confirm Wolf Leap and Wolf Team are good for approach.
Nah.
Confirm.
Good for approach.
Copy that, thank you. That's your plan, confirm. Can I start 299? Confirm, you can start 299. This is LC on Control Room Alpha and Echo. At this point in time, the red team is clear for approach to Hammerhead.
It's about as good as I'm going to get it, I think. So right now we are just simply watching an aircraft sitting on the ground, and I am taking your questions.
A launch license, a runway, and a set of ground support equipment, or GSC.
I can go outside the car at the same time. I'm not thrilled about attracting a huge amount. Oh my God, look at all these vehicles pulling up. There's a huge number of vehicles pulling up to Cosmic Girl right now.
The trailers literally drove
not sure if they're, and by the way, on this side, this is the side that Launcher 1 is visible from. It flies out, or rather currently the rocket is covered, and then the launch, as everybody knows, is handled from 35,000 feet. All of that is going to be handled on the live stream, which I'm going to be bringing to you live, by the way. So.
Already on control. Currently evaluating PDOF warning. Copy already.
Still trying to give you a slightly better look. One of the problems is, as far as leaving the car, is I'm trying not to, I need to be looking at my computer to see what you guys are seeing at the same time. It's a lot more convenient to be doing that from this particular angle. And yeah, it's just an interesting sight, to say the least. The sun rising here in the Mojave is a gorgeous sight, to say the least. It is stunning.
which is a deviation
And
from,
I feel very
Fox 401
privileged
step 10,
indeed
which is
to
manual
be
landing.
here.
Excellent,
You
Bravo,
guys
go.
have been very
Excellent,
helpful
go.
in
Thank you.
contributing to this whole thing. Is that some UAP bird
Verify
do?
all autosave
Let me see if
service
I
off
can.
at this
Boy, I'm
time.
probably going to make things worse here. Boy, there isn't even anything left. No, there's nothing left in the. Let me see if I can relocate. Get it a little closer.
All right. At this point in time, can I get?
To give a quick update from the MCC, the
There we
cameras
go.
I've been watching out at the Hammerhead been showing a lot of the filling up. Of
Prop
the
it up
rocket.
just
They're
a
about to
bit.
get a lot busier.
There you
And
go.
the
Now
red
you
team,
can
or what
see
we
it a
call
little bit
internally our red
better.
pack, go and approach and start disconnecting the rocket, as well as having our flight crew step onto the airplane. So keep a lookout and expect a few more people joining the show today.
So honestly, I was hoping to have this thing ready to go at this stage. I was hoping for this thing to already be out on the tarmac. However, it is not. It is doing nothing of the sort, which is unfortunate indeed. So all I can do is just wait and try to keep myself caffeinated and watch. But currently, engines have not been fired up. There's
All right. This is LC pad technician. Gonna get you to
definitely signs of extensive activity underneath the aircraft. Now, what does this mean in terms of timing? I couldn't begin to tell you. In terms of where they are in their process. This is my first time watching a horizontal launch. The difference is, of course, is you don't have to clear a pad and get 10 kilometers away or 6 kilometers away or anything like that. You just finish with the fueling, you get the hell away, and Virgin Orbit starts taxiing into position. So that's kind of how it works. So what you can expect is once this starts to taxi, once it starts getting into position, then I will get back to where I was originally, because that is where Cosmic Girl will be taking off. That place way, way the hell away. Virgin Orbit will very, very quickly make its approach and fly close to right over our heads or something along those lines. So it should be a pretty impressive sight, to say the least. And yeah, the difference is, I suppose I can get information from the live stream, but I'm watching with you guys. I'm here with you just like I am. Let me check. All right.
Let's take a look back at our most recent and first mission to space, launched MO2. It could not have
So
gone
obviously
better.
work
Ground
being
operations,
done
satellite deployment,
as
everything
we
fell into
speak,
place just as we had planned.
as I'm watching
I
from
think that
out
every
here.
Virgin Orbit
Boy, they're
remembers
giving
where
a
they were
lot
the day
of
that we
exclusive
successfully made it to
coverage of
space
what's
the first time.
happening.
I know for myself,
That
I
is
was
a
with
very
my
good
family
thing.
At the end of the runway, and we watched Cosmic Girl
It
take off
is
right over our
gorgeous.
heads.
The
Incredible
sunrise
journey.
is
Wade, where were
absolutely
you during the
stunning, and
last
I
launch?
really wish
So
this
it was
camera
the time of
gave
COVID.
some
I
justice
think that
to
we've
it.
all
Excuse
encountered a
me
little bit
while
of that
I
recently, and
go
I was
ahead and
alone
take
watching the launch by
a few
myself
shots.
in a hotel room in Palmdale, California. awaiting my now fiance to come back. She's now today's launch director. So it was a personal experience of being able to go up there during COVID, but it was great to see her face when she got back after the successful launch.
Absolutely. COVID made our celebrations just a little bit more difficult than we had hoped, but it was still memorable nonetheless. Yeah. I think the moment that we saw our payload fairing separate and we finally saw our payloads in space, and we saw the curvature of the Earth in space, that was the moment that I knew we had, really made it. Ruthie, did you have any favorite memorable moments?
Hello, Cosmic Girl.
Yeah, I think for me the most memorable moment was seeing the blue skies go to black, and it was just such an incredible moment because that's when we knew.
And by the way, I'm going to be doing an after-action report
absolutely.
as
It was
well.
An important day for the whole
giving you
Virgin
guys
team,
some
also for the
coverage
whole
of
industry.
what
It was the
happened, and
first time
hopefully
anybody
everything
had
is
air-launched
successful.
a liquid-fueled orbital class rocket to
Giving you
space.
coverage of
And on
everything that's
top of
going
that,
to
we were
be
able to
taking
deploy 10
place. But
different
once
satellites
again,
resources
I
across the
cannot
United States
begin
to their
to
desired orbit.
emphasize
With our
the
system proven out,
importance of this
we're now
mission.
moving forward towards our
It
ultimate
is
goal of providing flexible and affordable
immensely
space
important
to
simply
countries all
because
over the
we
world.
have 4
Let's
military
take a minute to watch a
satellites
quick recap
from the
video of
US. We
our
have
last launch.
1 from the Belgians, in other words, NATO, and then we have 2 from Sat Revolution. And these flights from Sat Revolution, these are absolutely critical because they are part of one day what's going to be over 1,000 satellite constellation by 2026. That is an insane amount of business, guys. An insane amount. So yeah, Tubular Bells Part 2. It'll be interesting to see what that is. And by the way, I'm checking out your chats as well.
Max up.
And by the way, thanks everyone. Those in Eugene, Oregon, you've gotten out early just like I have. So once again, we're just waiting to see what these guys are going to be doing. Once again, an absolutely critical launch. And just to be clear, once again, people who are confusing this with Virgin Galactic, this is not Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic is taken aloft by a custom aircraft and only makes it to suborbital space. This is something designed for the deployment of small sats. And we have some, as I've said a number of times now during the program, some extremely important customers on board, in customers of massive importance. Obviously, the U.S. military, a number of their small sats, which they have been very, very guarded about what they're going to be doing. And then we have the Belgian Air Force. And for those of you who are wondering what's important about the Belgian Air Force, well, you know, it's once again the headquarters of NATO, right? So we're looking at a relationship not only directly with the United States, but also with the NATO military as well. And then we have Sat Revolution and their constellation, which, as I said, is going to be over 1,000 satellites. These are satellites that are not only small sats in themselves. As tiny as these things are, they're going to be able to carry CubeSats of their own. So they'll be able to carry, they're like launch platforms for other customers. You know, you'd think something that small, how the hell can it launch satellites also? But it definitely can. And, you know, that's one thing that's of critical importance about Virgin Orbit is their ability to get large payloads into sun-synchronous orbits, into polar orbits, where they're going to be getting non-stop solar energy from the sun. And that is an important thing for these small sats because they run off of 70 watts. That's it. 70 watts. It's crazy. So, you know, it's, you know, running off of that little power, and yet at the same time capable of doing so much. Those satellites are capable of resolving something as small as my car from orbit. They'll be orbiting at an altitude of about 500 kilometers, which is an orbit that's ideal for small sats because they'll only be there for a few years. There isn't a lot of space junk there to cause them any problems. Space junk is not nearly as common at an altitude of 500 kilometers as it is just a bit further up. That's one of the reasons, by the way, that SpaceX is requesting Starlink to be put at a new and lower altitude, is to get away from the influence of space junk. Virgin Orbit, I don't know, they are making plans of going public, although they're going to be merging with another company before they do so. I actually have a little bit of stock in Virgin Galactic, and I wish to hell that I had a lot more because it shot up. It shot up tremendously once the FAA gave permission in order for them to carry commercial pilots. So once again, any questions that you guys have whatsoever about what this mission is, its importance, that is, you know, what I'm here for, guys. That is, but you know what? We're starting to lose our view because of the sun. I'm going to try to relocate to where the sun is not directly in our faces. Getting a little bit shifted. Now we can see her a little bit better. And by the way, I have no idea what little country road I'm on right now. All I know is that it's not that easy to see what I'm doing. Although I'm sure they are very aware of my presence right now and saying, who's that idiot out there? But right now, all the attention is focused on Cosmic Girl. I don't think anybody gives two shits about me. So let's just keep this process going. Oh, there we go. I kind of like that. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Why are some of the ground crew wearing blue aprons? You got me on that one. You got me on that one. I haven't got the slightest idea as to why that is indeed the case. And adjust it just slightly downward.
MCC Planet Control Room starting data handoff. CNC, please perform all CNC steps on Proc 299 and make calls on control room.
CNC copies on control room. Start 6-1.
It would appear, though, that we have a last-second fueling going up.
Memory low nominal. I have verified all docs have stopped.
And that may just be in conjunction with what other companies are doing right now. SpaceX fuels things up at the last second as well. let me give you a rundown of that rocket that you were
Renaissance
just looking
station
at.
is active.
The rocket is comprised of two engines, which are called the Newton 3, and that provides 73,000 pounds worth of thrust, which is almost 50% more thrust than what the Electron has, with all of its engines combined.
2, 1. Disconnected and expected warnings.
And then on the second level, we have the Newton 4, and that has 5,000 pounds of thrust. And by the way, these use liquid oxygen and RP1, which is a highly refined type of kerosene fuel. It's a type of fuel that's used by lots of different companies, not the Methalox that we're used to with SpaceX.
Has been disconnected from plane mode.
Expected warnings.
Oh, you're quite welcome, by the way, Izzy. I'm happy to be providing you with as much information as possible. And boy, I'd love to stay around for the Virgin Galactic event, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. This has not been an inexpensive trip for me at all. By the way, thanks for the support that I've received thus far. And any support that I could receive at all at this point would, of course, be greatly appreciated. This is it is not an inexpensive thing to go out into the field. So really hoping that we get a launch out of today, let alone what happens with Virgin Galactic. So, like I say, if we are, any support, whether it be just a like, a subscribe, or I would be, completely thrilled with any other sort of support. But once again, I have received a fair amount of support for what we've been doing. I am on pins and needles, guys. I'll tell you, even though we are obviously a long way from takeoff, I am just beyond excited about this.
Of the entire system, tip to tail. Cosmic Girl's first lap around the racetrack.
There's definitely some amazing stuff
winds are good and that we have a
developing with this mission, and it is so damned important. The importance behind this cannot be understated for Virgin Orbit. And by the way, this is only the beginning. As you may have heard on some of my videos, Virgin Orbit is adding a third stage to Launcher 1, and they will become the first commercial rocket company that consistently uses a different type of propulsion in order to get their satellites up to higher orbits, or to get them to the moon, or to get them to other planets. And they'll be using solar electric propulsion, solar electric ion engines. Quite an amazing thing indeed. So that is going to be a huge moment for Virgin Orbit, and it's going to allow them to send larger payloads into geosynchronous orbit, and also all the way to the moon and all the way to Mars. So this is a company with large ambitions, even though the rocket is small, even though the satellites are small. The ambition is gigantic. So we can see where the takeoff and where the launch is going to be taking place, just off of Long Beach, and we're going to keep up with that the whole time. So don't you worry about that.
Combat airlift Afghanistan to later Iran. After that, I instructor pilot at the C-17 instructor pilot at the C-17 schoolhouse. Instructed literally hundreds of students how to fly C-17. Really rewarding. I found that to be. After that, I went to.
So once again, anybody who wants to post any
a little smile in my face without having a little smile in my face. Really, in addition to that, the team here is awesome, and the team really believes awesome, and
Yeah, we lost volume.
across the full gamut. You know,
Live stream to get an idea of what is going on the live stream at the same time. But this is really neat what Virgin Orbit is providing in terms of what's happening, in terms of live stream coverage of their activities, etc. As far as I know, the pilots are there, but they may not be. They may not be because there is, of course, danger involved with liquid oxygen and RP1 fuel. And there is most definitely enough fuel on that rocket plus that 747 to create a mammoth explosion that would probably shatter the windows on this car. I am
Welcome back, everyone.
actually
Sustainability and
deceptively
environmental stewardship
close
are
to
top
it.
priorities
It
for
may
Virgin
not, it
Orbit.
may look
And our
like I'm a
commitment to
long ways away,
sustainability also
but
extends into launches.
I'm not.
Our air launch
Not
platform
really.
allows us to minimize the environmental
So yeah,
impact of surrounding
not to say
areas.
that that is
Most
at all
traditional
likely,
launch
but at the
spaces are
same
actually
time,
unprotected
obviously they
wildlife
need to be
reserves. And
cautious.
our air launch
So I would
allows us
not
to
be
use existing
surprised if the
airport
pilots are
runways,
not
which
yet on
avoids
board,
construction and
and the
impact on wildlife
stairs
and
are
fauna. Our
extended.
air
The
launch also
stairway
emits
to
approximately
the
90%
aircraft
less
is
carbon,
still
including smoke and
currently
soot, onto the
extended.
ground
That
areas
should be
as compared to ground
retracted
launches.
if
And sound
all
pollution
of
from
the
air launch is
crew was on
approximately
board.
94% less than ground-launched rockets. On top of that, Virgin Orbit will be offsetting the carbon emissions from this flight by investing in regenerative agriculture projects around the globe.
So once again, waiting for these guys to get their show on the road. And I have some logistical matters to take care of. Bear with me just one moment.
Estimated LD on control. Go ahead. Just for your general awareness, I'm going to be taking over the control of Wally PTZ for takeoff. Copy that.
Terminal plane control, can you meet me in plane?
Estimate this is LD on control. Go for estimate on control. Confirming your go for takeoff. Affirm. Copy.
LCCD on control room, we are go for takeoff.
Copy that, C. Thank you. CNC on control room looks like a momentary outage on Panasonic data stream.
Copy. Clearing warnings.
All right, everyone, as you can see, Cosmic Girl is being towed to the end of the runway. Keep your eyes on the screen. Takeoff is imminent, so stay tuned.
kind of nice to have a place I can recharge myself. My audio's live. Oh, that's amusing. What's that? So they just rolled out? They just rolled out? Shit. Okay. All right, I'm going. Bye-bye.
LC, Long Beach IT2, checking in.
Copy, IT.
Orbit 8, LE1, board 107, as on completion.
Copy, port 107.
Orbit 8, LE2, starting aircraft engines and idling for 5 minutes.
Copy, 5-minute idle.
All right, everyone, what we just heard over comms is that the Cosmic Girl is going to start doing a 5-minute idle of the engines. Basically, we're warming her up so that when we fly, everything is already checked out and good to go. So things are getting really, really, really exciting. We're going to be taking off quite soon, so stay tuned, keep watching the screens, and we'll be wheels up in no time.
Orbit 8, LE2, I will be venting and repressing both launch tanks for takeoff.
Copy, vented, repress.
Engine 2, nominal start.
Right, you can put me on live video as well. All right, guys. So apparently Virgin Orbit, they just don't know who I am. They are taxiing, rolling this thing out, apparently, and launch is imminent. So I am heading back like a madman to where we were before, because even though it seemed like a million miles away at the time, 747s can cover a tremendous amount of distance. in virtually no time at all. So, we are going to try to catch this. And if you're hearing a sense of urgency in my voice, well, that's because there is one. I thought I would have a few more minutes to get a few more minutes to get a bit of a charge on my laptop. Recharging laptops in a car is a difficult thing. They are power hogs. But just so you guys know, I'm going to be staying with you through the duration. We have a link into Virgin Orbit's feed. So I will be watching this as you watch it. I will also be filming Virgin Orbit as it takes to the skies. At least that's the hope. And
Plane was at a call for LC on control.
LC or LD was letting you guys know about 75 minutes budget on GN2.
Copy that, understood. Thank you. 75 minutes.
just making sure that I take the right turn here. Of course I didn't. Okay, let's get flipped around. Hi guys, don't crash into me, please. I'm just a nice tourist from South Carolina.
Oh, order base copies. Recording high-speed data. Cosmic Orbit Base.
Let's go, buddy.
SBN on mode file.
Oh my God, it's getting in position. God, do you think they took?
Thank you.
Think they made that happen quick enough?
And we are beginning taxi now.
Orbit Base copies. Begin a taxi.
All right, here's our highway intersection. We are 2 minutes away. I cannot believe this is happening.
LVCD on control room, we are still going for takeoff.
Copy that.
Looks like I have a friend out here.
All right, everyone. We've heard that we are go
Gonna
for
try
takeoff.
to
We are
take
go
a
for
shot
taxi.
of
You can
this.
see Cosmic Girl moving right now. Keep an eye out. We are about to be wheels up.
Good spot. That's a good point. It's the left side, though, isn't it? Okay, which way is it? This way. Gotcha.
Are you still go for takeoff?
Well, I will get out of your way then and
takeoff.
get positioned properly.
We are hearing goes for takeoff
Copy,
across the board.
SMA, this is LDX. Can you go to anomaly 1?
Hey, guys.
Yesterday.
Getting into position now.
You said today is supposed to be dry lightning all day. Most of the storms
Stay with me. Stay with me. She's coming, guys. This happened in no time at all. There she is. She's approaching now, just to the right of that car. And the engines are firing up. I can hear them clearly, even from this angle. Got here just in time, people. Here she goes.
Over base LE1, we're on the takeoff roll.
Over base copies and takeoff roll.
All right, everyone. We heard that we were just about to take off. We have made it to the top of the runway, and Cosmic Girl is moving. Lots of excitement here. Here goes Cosmic Girl. And yes, we are wheels up. As a reminder, we're flying out to the Pacific to our drop point, which is 50 miles south of the Channel Islands. Right now, Mission Control is monitoring the rocket to ensure all of our systems are healthy through this takeoff.
Now she's going to be making a turn.
We're keeping a really close eye on temperatures to make sure the mission is
I can't believe how rapidly they got that thing deployed from the time that it was just sitting there.
Our LEs, Bryce Schaefer and Jason Panzerino, are doing all of this monitoring work from the aircraft. They're effectively working as a mobile mission control for the rest of the mission.
Unreal.
Altitude 5.
So just above that ANA tire sign. And it's going to be making a turn. By the way, I will be with you through this entire process. God, I hope you guys saw that the way I did. Or at least remotely so.
Confirm when S-band locks have been acquired.
Radiohead, this is LD on control.
That happened so damn fast.
Go ahead, LD for Radiohead.
S-band is active from Launcher 1. Please confirm lock when you have it.
Okay. Just to be clear, this broadcast is not even remotely over because we are going to be following the Virgin Orbit feed.
We have confirmed good S-band locked for Mojave.
Plane is now taking a decided turn towards the west, which makes sense because that's where it's headed. All right, it's heading straight for its destination. I am now coming back to where I'm going to be following the live stream with you guys.
Altitude 10,000.
Copy 10,000.
Yeah, it seems like we cut the Gen2 flow.
Bear with me, I'm going to have...
LD, we can go ahead and disable anti-fuel lever flow.
Copy, disabling.
Orbit base, LE1, rocket cavity, purges on bleed air.
Orbit base copies, cavity purge on bleed air. Thank you.
All right, bear with me, guys. If you can still hear me, go ahead and put me back on.
LD radio head on control.
Go ahead.
As be advised, we're seeing normal expected dropouts in the turn, but when we have data, it's much cleaner and better than we saw the last two times.
We're heading out to the...
All right, everyone.
And wanted to give you an update that we have our S-band, our data...
So, my understanding is not a lot was seen, once again, as a result of hotspot internet connectivity or lack thereof. I hope that is not indeed the case. I hope you got to at least hear something, because I'll tell you the experience of listening in was something else.
This launch is contracted,
and having this thing pass over my head was something else. And I hope you guys got to see a little bit of that.
The DoD and the U.S. government more broadly is very interested in leveraging more commercial technology to support R&D efforts and grow its launch capacity to support increased national security. Our second payload is a CubeSat called BRIC-2, built by ISI Space for the Royal Netherlands Air Force. This is actually the first
You
ever
saw the
planetary
plane.
satellite.
Oh, I am so
for the
relieved. I thought I went out there and showed you guys a whole lot of
variety
nothing.
of communication experiments.
Oh, I am
and also
beyond
demonstrate how
relieved.
small satellites can provide
That's
a meaningful
fantastic.
contribution to the country's military.
And yeah, it
operations.
was the sun
but certainly
and the
not
dust
less
in the
Launch
air.
One has
Just so you
onboard
know,
two
the
satellites
wind
from the
goes
post-satellite
like
company
crazy.
Sat Revolution.
And this is far from done,
These two
guys.
CubeSats,
This broadcast
Stork
is
4
not
and Stork
through.
5,
We
or Mara
are
as Stork
following
5 is
Virgin
affectionately
Orbit
known as.
all the way
The
to the
first satellites
point
placed into
of
orbit
the
for
release of
company's
Launcher
Stork
1,
Once
the
deployed,
launch
these
of the
satellites will
vehicle,
collect
and the
multispectral,
deployment
medium-resolution imagery for agricultural
of
and energy customers,
the satellites
Poland,
into sun-synchronous orbit.
So with those great customers, we also wanted to send you a little bit of a video and a little bit of insight on who we are at Fox Space and Virgin Orbit.
So I am heading back to where I'm not going to be dependent as much on hotspot internet and that sort of thing. But I'm so glad you got to see it. Oh, and thank you, Mr. Morgan-Kell. Thank you. Oh, well, it's okay. The fact that it actually happened, the fact that it got recorded, you know, that means that you'll be able to see it. I'm going to have it all recorded, and here's some other information. I'm in communication with the public relations folks at Virgin Orbit, and they have promised me all kinds of footage post-launch. So we got some exciting stuff coming. And yeah, for the most part, I wanted to give you guys just the noise, the experience, you know, of watching the thing actually take off. And yeah, that is all it is. It's a 747 with a very special payload taking off. And it isn't done yet, guys. We are not even close to being done. I'm going to be giving you my commentary of everything that's happening up to this point. I will have Virgin Orbit and their stream going just so I can keep you updated on what they're doing now that I no longer have to be doing this craziness inside my vehicle. Things will go a lot easier. Denny's. Yeah, there aren't a lot of choices around here. That's one thing. If you're going to be in Mojave, you don't have a lot of choices at all. The one thing about Virgin Galactic that's different from Virgin Orbit has to launch out over the ocean. Virgin Galactic does not have those restrictions. Virgin Orbit is a much larger vehicle with a lot more fuel, and so therefore represents a greater threat to the general public if they were to launch it over land, and so they don't do that. So we're headed back right now. I'm just glad I caught it. Let me tell you something. I'm glad I caught it. I thought I was going to be too late. And emergency vehicles, my God, guys, I'm so excited I blew right past my destination. No, I didn't. I didn't blow past my destination. Okay, that's nice. Emergency vehicles caught my attention. Okay, guys, we are going to be going offline again for just a few minutes, literally a few minutes as I get set up again. I'm going to get set up to where I hopefully have some better Wi-Fi and such. So we will be going offline momentarily, and we will be returning to cover this launch in its entirety. So don't go away, guys. Don't go away.
Orbit base, LA2 at file.
Cosmic Orbit Base, could you repeat your last?
The mission mode file has been uploaded.
Orbit Base copies last. Thank you.
This is LD on control. Can confirm chase is taken off.
Cosmic Girl continues her route out to the drop point. And we gave you an overview, top-level overview of some of the customers on today's flight, but we also wanted to bring some of them directly to you. And to join, we have one of our anchor customers for today's mission from the Department of Defense's Space Test Program, or STP. We have the director, Colonel Carlos Quinones. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing great. It's great to be with you guys today.
Awesome. I see that you're joining us from Mojave Air and Spaceport. How's it going up there this morning?
It's beautiful morning here. It's a lot of excitement. We were just about to see the aircraft take off, and the crowd was pretty excited about seeing the aircraft moving closer to do our first launch. So a lot of excitement on our side.
That's excellent to hear. So can you tell me a little bit more about the DoD's Space Test Program?
Absolutely. So the DoD space program has been around for a long time, over 50 years. And the purpose of the program is to demonstrate emerging technologies in support of developing capabilities for our joint warfighter. And particularly, we take early capabilities, early technologies, and we demonstrate that those technologies can support a operational capability or can support the development of the science and to go after a specific capability. So we are been doing this in support of the Department of Defense for a while, as I mentioned. And we particularly do 4 things. We actually do our mission design. We do the spacecraft procurement for some cases. We do integration and actually integration for launch vehicles and then space operations as needed.
That's awesome. You're up to a whole lot there. As a part of this one, you had a procurement through the Rapid Agile Launch Initiative. Can you tell us a little bit about how that might have been different or what that is?
Absolutely. So in about 2017, we received a congressional kind of mandate to go and explore how we can help the enterprise by adding to the a small launch piece of the launch enterprise. So the purpose of the actual program was to not only help non-traditional contractors for the Department of Defense to come up to speed and provide this very needed service, but also another opportunity for science and technology payloads to be able to get access to space, do the experimentation, get the data, and help future programs continue the progress toward an operational capability. So we've been doing this since then. We were able to actually use our partnership with the Defense Innovation Unit as part of the overall enterprise, and we're able to do a contract or what we call an OTA for non-traditionals. And it's been very successful so far. We actually have launched already 3 payloads, and then we actually have another 5 launches looking this year and in support of that initiative.
Excellent. So today, some of the people want to know what experiments were selected to fly on Launcher 1 today, and maybe with, gosh, the laundry list of satellites that you're tracking, how these ones got selected.
So the selection process is called what the Space Experiments Review Board. This is a Department of Defense level board in which all agencies bring their experiments forward to determine if those experiments are ready to go forward. There is a extensive criteria that we use for those, but mostly it comes down to make sure that we have an experiment that actually has military utility from the standpoint of the department, but also that has a well-planned experimentation that can actually help and move science forward and also help some specific programs. Once that list has been put together, then it comes back to the STP program, and then we use the Space and Missile Center full enterprise to help us then allocate
but not the visual.
Either launch opportunities.
All right. Hello, everybody. Just getting everything set up.
Vehicles, to integrate some of those
Oh,
payloads
what craziness.
and use those opportunities to provide the additional capability that the department needs and overall that the nation needs. With regards to the payloads today, we have 4 payloads. We actually have
All right, so no danger
payloads there
of losing.
smokes. We also have the CC program Block 1, and we also have the Halo Net.
PC.
All those are
So we can now finally sit back and semi-relax.
LEO
All right.
orbit,
I am ready to go visual whenever
we
you
are
are.
very excited today to be able to provide that initial set of data to the team.
All right,
Thank you so much for the
everybody.
background on those. We're excited to get those.
Here I
experiments
am
on
yet
orbit for
again.
you. And then you have a
Wow.
lot of choices when you fly.
Like I say,
today,
it may
why
have
was,
seemed a bit
Vox Space selected, and
anticlimactic
what do you think Air
for you
Launch
guys.
brings,
I certainly
to the
hope
launch
not.
enterprise and to the DoD more broadly?
No, absolutely. So Vox was
But regardless,
part of a fully competitive process
very,
that we did in
very
partnership
happy
with DIU.
to see
that process,
the plane actually take off, to catch it. I was afraid that I was going to miss the takeoff spot. Had the help of either a local or somebody, another aerospace aficionado, who gave me the best inclination of where to be watching, which was good because I was actually watching at a different airstrip.
It's an exciting
They don't tell you which airstrip, by the way. They don't share that information at all. All this stuff is very hush-hush in terms of what they do at this airport. So you always have to be careful as far as that's concerned. And right now, what we have is Virgin Orbit doing their thing as Cosmic Girl wings its way over the ocean, over essentially the border between Southern California and the Baja of Mexico. And that is where the launch will be taking place, and they will be filming that as it happens. So exciting stuff. Definitely feel free to ask your questions. I can see. Can we lower Virgin volume a tad? Apparently, folks want to listen to me, which is great. Very nice of you guys to want to listen to me, and I'm sure they have some great things to say. So, yeah, once again, I'm still on pins and needles. I mean, the takeoff, that's the easy part. That's the easy part. Now it's just a matter of getting to orbit. It's a matter of dropping this thing and getting it all the way to an orbit that, that Rocket Lab, frankly, and once again, I'm a big fan of Rocket Lab. I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I like Rocket Lab as much as I like Virgin Orbit. I think that they are worthy competitors. However, this is the kind of payload that Rocket Lab would have a challenge trying to get to a sun-synchronous orbit from the location where they're currently going to be launching. They don't have the thrust from their Rutherford engines that these guys have. And of course, you're not looking at launching from over 10,000 meters. That makes a very different situation indeed. So we got somebody wearing military garb. That is strange, isn't it? I have no idea. Maybe this is a military pilot. I have no idea. A lot of folks here like to wear the uniform regardless. So I got a nice view of where we Virgin Orbit, or rather Cosmic Girl, has already cleared the coastline and is preparing for the drop. It should make one loop if it follows its previous course. It should make one loop in order to make sure that all of this works out properly. So I am, like I say, I'm on pins and needles. I want this to happen no matter what. Oh, I am so sorry to hear about what's going on in Canada about this. This crazy stuff. That's terrible that so many people have died as a result of an unexpected heat wave there. There's a horrible heat wave here. I got a chance to see a little bit of that by bypassing LA traffic yesterday. I went through the Angeles National Forest. I got to see a lot of evidence of how desperate the water supply situation is. It is a serious situation here in Southern California. It's a serious situation everywhere. So we've got too much rain on the East Coast, where a tropical storm / tropical depression just came ashore, and we don't have nearly enough rain here. It hasn't, of course, rained a drop since my arrival, not a bit. And this is a strange place, very strange. During the day, the atmosphere is completely thin. Or rather not thin, but rather still, very still, no wind at all, which means you get baked anywhere from 105 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And then after that, you know, the winds kick up like crazy. We have 146 people watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've had a few people drop in some super chats. Very kind of you to do that. This has definitely been an experience for me, and folks like you make it possible. It makes it possible for me to come out again, and from my understanding, it's possible that Virgin Orbit is going to give me more of a press access to their next launch, since it's not going to be military. So thank you. Thank you so much as far as that's concerned. You know, I really do appreciate it. And of course, any further support would be desperately needed, let me tell you. I seldom use the word desperate, but it is indeed true. You'd think hotels around here are cheap. They're not. Especially not when you have a launch going on and you have a lot of personnel here. Okay, I've said enough of that. Hello, Ryan. You're going to be having launches occurring from your nation as well, and it's entirely possible that you may be able to see them actually happen from the coastline in Cornwall. I mean, they're not going to be flying very far off the coastline before they'll be able to drop. So it's one advantage that Spaceport Cornwall has. It's so close to the ocean, and I think that's going to make a major difference without a doubt. So anyway, once again, the Cosmic Girl is winging its way over the Pacific. And getting into position. It is not going to be long at all, not at all, before this occurs. And I could not be more fired up, let me tell you. This is an exciting moment. Oh, yeah, please follow me on Twitter, by the way, if you don't already. I would be delighted indeed if you did follow me on Twitter. As a matter of fact, I think I'll send a little notification real quick out just to let people know that I'm live streaming this event in case anybody's interested. Because I'm sure folks, well, some people on Twitter anyway might. All right, thanks very much. When are they going to drop the rocket and let it rip? Usually they make a, they circle once at least in order to get themselves set up to do a last second systems check on the rocket, make sure that everything is go on this thing. This is not an easy process, guys. It's why very few people do it. I mean, horizontal launch is something that it's done by Pegasus and those sorts of things, but it isn't done by a lot of other folks at all. It is a very unusual method of dropping and deploying. But at the same time, we've got Virgin Galactic. We've had the Strato launch. I've seen the hangar where that's being kept. That's going to be able to launch larger vehicles and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's and Alan, I do indeed want that as well. I mean, this should have begun a long time ago, but Virgin Orbit is going to be a part of this because they have or will have solar electric propulsion available to them. They will be able to send larger cargoes out to places like Venus and Mars, and they'll be able to send cargoes in the vicinity of about 150 kilograms, which is substantially larger than most of the small sats that we have these days, substantially larger than any of the small sats that these small sat providers can send out, at least currently. So this new technology that they're going to be making use of, that no other launch provider is making consistent use of, this is going to make a major difference indeed. And so I am beyond excited about it. And by the way, I'm going to be doing other things while I'm out here as well, guys. So there's just entirely too much to see. 90 miles from Spaceport, Cornwall. And I did indeed have a haircut. Yes, I did. 90 miles. Well, I'm not going to be far away from you. It's my intention to get myself set up there because I think there's some very exciting things happening in the UK. I'm going to continue covering SpaceX as well. There's just a lot of people who cover SpaceX the way, better than I ever could. So I'm covering stuff that other folks may not be as interested in. It's hard to believe, just with technology that's been around forever, that 747 has already left LA far behind and is winging its way now off the coast of Mexico. So yeah, very interesting indeed. And yes, that is true. If the rocket starts before the rocket leaves the wing, it can indeed be ripped off. The timing is important. Unfortunately, fortunately, it is all automated. All of this is done precisely on time, on target, and so there is very little that is left to chance as far as that is concerned. This isn't something that somebody can, some pilot can accidentally hit a switch or something like that. This is a pretty safe way of doing things, at least as far as the pilots are concerned. It is a very, very heavy rocket, and yet a 747 is capable of carrying a hell of a lot more than this. And so, the question comes, are they going to build bigger rockets, or might they try 2 launches in the same flight? A lot of people don't really give acknowledgement to the fact that Cosmic Girl is a first stage, a reusable first stage in itself. It gets Launcher 1 to the appropriate altitude and can be used again. Yeah, it's not a conventional first stage, but it works, and it allows Launcher One to deliver its payloads to much higher orbits and also heavier payloads. So the combination of a vertical launch and plus you can launch from the equator, you can launch from the poles. As a matter of fact, that may indeed be why they're going so far to the south right now, to take advantage of that situation. Got some comments here. Very sad humanity went so fast with Apollo, and then we have to wait 50 years. The government's dropped the ball. Oh, they absolutely did. They absolutely did. We had so many opportunities, so much potential at our disposal, and none of this happened. None of it. And, we took one small step for a man, and then we took 10 steps backwards. It is very sad indeed. So all we can do now, instead of, being pissed off about the past, I do that, from time to time, but let's not worry about that, guys. Let's, push forward with the future, because there are a lot of organizations that are extremely excited about going to space to one degree or another, including human space flight. And Rocket Lab is talking about orbital human space flight with the Neutron, and I think that is a very good idea. Rocket Lab needs to no longer be exclusively in the small sat world, because there are companies like Virgin Orbit, like Firefly, and I was hoping to see one of their rockets today. These folks are going to be able to compete big time with with folks like Rocket Lab. So I think Rocket Lab has done a very good job moving upscale with the Neutron, heavy lift, human space flight, going into an entirely different world. Adele, wow, I have to admit, I am very, very, very envious that you got to see Saturn V. I got to see the maiden launch of Challenger, but I did not get to see Saturn V. So that is an amazing thing to say the least. I will be there at Cornwall for the first Virgin launch. Thank you so much. I love cider all over the UK. Although I'm not sure if I've tried Cornish cider. I'd very much like to check that out. No doubt indeed. We are getting close, I think, to the drop-off position. This is following, it appears, once again, it's hard to say for certain. This is a military mission, so there's some hush-hush involved with it. But it would appear that they're following a different path than the last launch. It appears they're getting very close to that point, and this is beyond exciting. Beyond exciting. By the way, guys, smash that like, smash that subscribe, and if this is something you would like to bring to you again, if this is an experience that you would like to enjoy again, my commentary combined to what these folks are doing, this exciting work that they're doing, any sort of support would be very much appreciated, from super chats to YouTube support. It's all, or rather to PayPal, it's all there. Patreon gives a lot of benefits. Have to market myself a little bit because it ain't free to come out here. I've received a fair amount of support so far. Deeply appreciate that. Anything that could be done would be deeply, deeply appreciated. But a like and a subscribe will also be appreciated regardless. And thank you so much. We have close to 200 people online. Wow, it is definitely getting exciting indeed. It was the failure of Skylab and Mir that prevented progress in space. It was costing too much. It was costing a lot. But then again, what is cost? I mean, why, when we compare it to the amount of money that the government spends on other programs, what really is the cost? And if you look at the ESA, their budget is minuscule compared to the amount of money that the European Union has at their disposal. It is minutes away, guys, from the drop of Launcher 1. We are minutes away from this historic moment. Even though this has been done once, this is for some very important clients, guys. This is for all the marbles. It really is. We have multiple military satellites from the U.S. We have the Belgians and NATO involved with this. And we have Sat Revolution from Poland, who is planning to do a hell of a lot of business with Virgin Orbit. There is so much going on. So much going on. And I am worked up. I want this to work. I really want this to work. And I couldn't agree with you more. Private industry should do this. Governments suck. I totally agree. Even though I'm a fan of NASA, NASA should employ these private companies to do this job and to do it for an affordable price. And by the way, we just had a link come up from Sat Revolution and all the products that they have to offer. They are going to have visual satellites that are capable of delivering, an amazing view from orbit as small as 5 meters in size. So something the size of my car, basically, they can see from orbit. And this is with a tiny satellite that only pulls 70 watts. 70 watts, the amount of your average light bulb. Actually, there's plenty of light bulbs, incandescent anyway, that pulled way more power than that. With just 70 watts of power, this thing can see something that small and can provide huge amounts of cover, thousands of square kilometers. They want to put up a constellation of over 1,000 of these things. And another positive thing is it's going up to 500 kilometers where there isn't a lot of space junk. They're taking their loop, guys. They are indeed taking their loop a little bit later than I expected. So they are close. They are beyond close to dropping and letting this thing go. Telling you, pins and needles, guys. Pins and needles. I can't wait. Wow. Beyond excited. Beyond excited. My thanks to the people of Mojave, to this awesome hotel, the Comfort Inn that I'm in. And off it goes. Off it goes. Off she goes, guys. We have a little bit of a delay on our side, of course, because this is being run out of the UK. But nevertheless, it has been dropped and it has been launched. Let's see if we're getting a live broadcast. Bear with me for just a second, guys. Looking for a live broadcast.
Expected warning. Cleared.
Well, if it has indeed been dropped, we're not seeing it.
Just verifying all systems are nominal at this point in time.
Now, I misstated that. I got some.
Systems are nominal at this point.
Unless Virgin Orbit is operating on a delay, which indeed they may be. We are 11 minutes and 50 seconds away from launch. 11 minutes and 50 seconds. Yep. Once again, guys, communications issues. When I'm watching with you guys on a delay, I'm inclined to think that things have happened before. They already have, but I have the live stream up in front of me right now. 11 minutes and about 20 seconds. 11 minutes and 20 seconds. So we definitely have some time. Once again, everybody, thanks for joining in. We have 170 people watching. Please like, please subscribe, and any other support you're comfortable with would be greatly appreciated. I'm telling you, being out here has been the experience of a lifetime. It's something that is made possible by my Patreon supporters, but nevertheless, I can't expect them to do it all. So if there's anything that you folks can do, I would greatly appreciate it, and you will receive a special thank you. But once again, you're not here to pay my bills, so a like and a subscribe, and I will be a very happy person either way. So we are just over 10 minutes away. They have made they're back close to Long Beach, which is, by the way, where Virgin Orbit's headquarters is located. I have to admit, I went through a little bit of a debate as to whether or not I wanted to launch this. Rather, I wanted to watch the launch from Long Beach, or if I wanted to watch it take off here. And the fact of the matter is, I wanted to see the thing take off here because that's something you don't always get to see.
Please advise it's kind of been riding the balance throughout the whole flight.
All systems appear to be go, guys. Everything appears to be nominal at 9.5 minutes currently. 9.5 minutes. Beyond excited about this, guys. Beyond excited. We have 177 people watching. Thank you very much. Once again, critical mission for Virgin Orbit. This is their last mission was a great success. They certainly had some customers on board, but at the same time, it doesn't hold a candle to what's important as far as this is concerned. We have the U.S. military and therefore NATO on board, and we have Sat Revolution with Stork 1 and Stork 2, and everything that they're doing, putting up a constellation of over 1,000 satellites. This is a huge moment. 3 major customers on this one rocket. A lot is riding on this. A tremendous amount, especially in the aftermath of what happened with Rocket Lab. I'm sure that a lot of people are as nervous as all get out. This is a mission of tremendous importance, and we're not going to know whether or not the satellites have been successfully deployed for some time. Assuming that it even makes it to orbit, it has to get to the proper orbit, and it's not getting to the easy one, it's getting up to SSO. SSO is the only orbit where the Sat Revolution satellites are going to be functional. Their solar panels require a continuous bombardment of photons in order to be helpful. A little bit of stickers available to you, by the way, if you would be interested. My merch is at the top of the chat. My good friend in Yorkshire has made that available, and oh my God, we're getting ready, guys. Oh, we are so close. We are so close to the moment of launch. Branson, I'd be surprised if he was on this flight, but maybe he is. He's the guy who likes to see things up close and in person. I mean, he wouldn't be in a tremendous risk. Definitely not the case. Well, thank you, Opus. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, what you just said is kind of the truth, but that's okay. This is a risk that I take. J.D. Powell, thank you. Oh, my Lord, thank you so much. Let's put up something special for J.D. Powell, guys, because that is a deeply appreciated thing, something that's going to make a huge amount of difference to this channel. Anything that I can get, let me tell you, is going to make a big difference without a doubt. And Pedro, absolutely. I am more than happy to bring this to you. And Cosmic Girl is making its turn. making its turn. This moment is coming. The moment for drop is coming to us right now. And yes, their feed is ahead. No question about it. However, I am watching the feed as it happens to make sure that you guys get properly updated. However, if you want to stay a few seconds ahead, I certainly understand your reasons. We're closing in on 200 people, close to 200 people watching. Thank you so much for that. It is greatly appreciated. We are just over 5 minutes from launch, just over 5 minutes, almost 200 people. Smash that like, smash that subscribe, and thanks to everybody, to the super chats that I've been getting here, a few here and there, which all of them make a big difference, let me tell you. Coming out here has definitely been an investment, both in time and in money, but I've received a lot of support from my Patreon folks. I cannot be more grateful to them, and I am having a Patreon-only Discord conversation going on, hopefully in the next 24 hours. You will be notified.
SMA control AFSS's green.
So that is definitely coming up. You'll be, if you guys are interested in becoming part of that, being a Patreon subscriber is super easy, all in the description, but I'm not going to take anything away from this because we are just over 5 minutes away and getting close, getting crazy close. Counting down, folks. Counting down. Boy, I'm excited. Oh, Keith, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, I am beyond grateful. Thank you so much for that. Makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference. Smash that like, guys. Smash that subscribe. 188 people watching. Very grateful that you are watching. This is a historic moment. Definitely an historic moment for Virgin Orbit. This mission is beyond critical. If this is successful, they are going to be pulling even more customers than they already are. This is going to be a huge, huge moment for them. Huge. But we'll see. The plane's altitude is a little over 10,000 meters. So a little bit lower than Virgin Galactic.
Go ahead, Roger's that.
3.5 minutes. Boy, it's just crawling by, and I am just beyond excited. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. You know, assuming this thing lights properly, then we've got some time to wait for it to achieve orbit. So I'll tell you, I am beyond exciting. Beyond exciting. Aussie Colonel, thank you for the 10 quid. Oh, thank you so much for that. Wow. That is deeply appreciated. And definitely Cornish pasties are one of my favorite things. I tried those out when I was just a kid. I was 8 years old when I had my first Cornish pasty. What I think is going to happen to Virgin Orbit in the future, customers are going to be launching. There's going to be a lot of customers all over the world because they can, Bumping on Funky Monkey, thank you so much. I'm sorry to be interrupting, but they are going to have customers everywhere because all you need is an airfield and the ability to fuel up the rockets. These are all very important things. So, you know, huge issue. If this launch goes, Virgin Orbit, who already has a lot of customers lined up, they are going to be going big time. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Wow. What a moment. What a moment. Will it wiggle sideways like it did before? I don't know, Pedro. That confused the hell out of me, too. Thank you so much. Got some specials coming up for everybody. Looks like something just popped up, or if it did for the past, guys, thank you for any of the support that's coming up. Craig Duncan for nearly 3 quid. Thank you so much. And yes, that would get me a pint, and I am a big fan of pints, whether it be cider, whether it be your bitters. And by the way, English beer is not warm. It's room temperature. room temperature. That's not warm in Britain. Thank you so much, Ground Space Base. Thank you so much for the £5. You guys are the best. I've been to Britain 8 times. It's my home away from home. You are the best. We're down to 1 minute, 60 seconds left. Oh my God. I am just beyond excited. Like I say, pins and needles. Pins and needles. This can deliver 500 kilograms to orbit, but it can get 150 kilograms to Mars, at least in the future when it adds its upper stage. Quick maneuver coming up. From my perspective, we are less than 30 seconds away.
And we'll see drop within it.
They're committed, guys. Unless we have a last second scrub. They are committed. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. 9 seconds, 7 seconds. 5, 2. Let's go. Drop ready. We are drop ready.
Good to
Come
proceed,
on,
Mark.
let this go. Let this go, baby. Come on. This-
Oh.
The 747 may be maneuvering into position. Hang in there with me, guys. We are good to drop from what they're saying. They may be waiting for atmospherics. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah.
Release.
Yeah.
Release confirmed.
Oh, hell yeah.
Confirmed.
PST's ignited.
There we go.
Newton 3 startup confirmed.
And she's jiggling from side to side. There goes launcher 1. There goes launcher 1. We are committed now, guys. We are committed. Oh my God. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Max Alpha flight complete.
This thing is
We've had
climbing
successful
like
PST
crazy,
engine
guys.
start, pitch up,
It's
and pass
climbing
max speed.
like nuts. It's nearly to 50,000 feet. All of this is done
Nominal.
in traditional measurements, by the way. This is an American company officially, although they use this stuff. 56,000, 57,000, 58, 59, 60. Look at this thing go. Look at this thing go. My God, 65,000, 66, 69. Holy majoli. Unreal. Unreal. Yeah, I know I'm lagging. I know this is lagging behind, but at the same time, you are getting my real-time reactions to this stuff. It is beyond nuts. We are almost at 100,000. Thank you so much, Opus. Thank you so much for your support. I could not be more grateful. Look at this baby go. 113,000 feet, 115.
Burn nominal.
We are past the Kármán line.
Cosmic orbit base. Stage 1 burn is nominal, passing 120,000 feet.
The burn's going well. Everything is looking perfect, guys. Perfect.
Stage 1 PU nominal.
Holy majoli. Trajectory is nominal. Trajectory is nominal.
Stage 1 trajectory nominal.
They're doing it. They are doing it. Matt, thank you so much. Really do appreciate the 10 quid. I could not be more grateful. Thanks, guys. Any of this support is making a big deal, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Yeah. it is a great feeling to see Virgin Orbit doing this in a different way, an unconventional way. Horizontal launch is not common. By the way, flat earthers, there's the planet. Damn it. There's the Earth, in case you were wondering. There it is. I think it's all special effects, so I don't know exactly what Virgin Orbit would have to gain from that. But there is the planet, and there's release.
Hi, everyone. We just
Nico
had a
and first stage
5G
detached.
that we had successful down throttle.
Everything
There's a
is
lot of
working
things happening
out
quickly. There we go.
phenomenally.
We just saw stage separation, and now we're going to see second engine start.
Wow. Unreal. Look at that thing go. Look how fast it leaves it behind. Unbelievable. That is so cool, the vision that they just gave us of that. And that's it. Well, nope. They're bringing back a view. Oh, check it out. Deployment coming up. Deployment coming up.
Cosmic Go over base, stage set verified.
I don't think they showed us this last time. By the way, nearly 500,000 feet off the ground at this point.
Cosmic Go over base, also
Crazy stuff. Well over 100 miles.
We have confirmation of fairing separation, a video of
deployment of the package coming up.
Newton 4 will continue to
coming up, guys. Now, everybody, just so you know, Bruden62, he's been with my organization forever. He just loves jokes. That's all. And yeah, the fairing went by as well. Thanks for pointing that out. Fairing zoomed by, payload ready for deployment. We are still achieving greater altitude, but way into orbit at this point. Virgin Orbit, once again, living up to its name, doing something that Blue Origin has never done. And remember, VO was only conceptualized in 2013. 2013. And here they are in orbit, putting up payloads for paying customers already. Amazing stuff. Yes, 162 kilometers. Thank you for the conversion. And actually, we're way above that at this point. We're more along the lines of 100, about maybe close to 200 kilometers.
Sound good. Thanks for your help today.
Halfway through the burn, guys. This thing has a tremendous thrust capability. Even the secondary engines on the upper stage. All of these are it's an impressive rocket for a small sat deployer. It contains more thrust than the Electron, and it's launching it from a higher altitude. This is why they're able to deploy larger payloads than Rocket Lab can currently. The Neutron is going to change all of that. And just so we're clear, I'm a big fan of Rocket Lab. I'm a big fan of Virgin Orbit. I want them both to be successful in the biggest kind of way. But everything is looking nominal, guys. I couldn't be more thrilled. Honestly, I wasn't even sure about our odds.
Cosmic Roll Orbit Base, LC2 checking in.
What a view. What a damn view.
Welcome to the party, LD2.
Just amazing at this point. Yeah, this thing is really moving. And of course, now they're giving us an orbital trajectory. As to its current location, this thing has covered a tremendous amount of distance in virtually no time at all, which is typical of orbital vehicles.
We're level flight in RTB.
These copies level flight.
1 minute from second engine cutoff, or SECO as they call it. 1 minute. Now, of course, I know that I'm delayed, that there's, a delay in the stream and that sort of thing. 221 people watching now. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please like, please subscribe, and thank you so much to the folks who have given me support. Any support would be greatly appreciated. There's plenty of ways to do it through Super Chat and in the description.
All right, everyone,
Okay, enough of that. Enough of that. So yeah, it's going to be, you're right, Matt, it's going to be 3 years at least before Neutron is available. This will give a big advantage to Virgin Orbit if they continue to be successful. Now, we don't know if they're successful yet. We have no idea. Right now, it's looking very nominal. Very nominal. Everything's looking fantastic. But we are not yet at SECO or second engine cutoff. I love these trajectories that they're showing us. They are beyond cool. Very neat stuff. Very neat stuff. Just a few minutes of fuel left. There's the payload again. There's our payload consisting of 4 satellites from the U.S. military, a satellite from the Belgian military, in other words, NATO, and then, of course, we have the 2 satellites from Sat Revolution, the Stork. And for those of you who joined us late, Stork 1 and Stork 2 are visual observation satellites that can resolve things as small as 5 meters on the surface of the planet and can also resolve
We have confirmation of second engine shutdown and have reoriented the vehicle to begin
hundreds and hundreds, or rather thousands of square kilometers. There's a close-up view of the payload. Ah, man, this is cool. This is beyond cool. You're right. Good point, Bruden 62. Rocket Lab was looking really good up to the second stage. Fingers crossed to see what happens with the payload. We are less than 10 minutes from payload deployment, it would appear. No, I'm sorry, 10 minutes after launch. I apologize. Wow, that was fast. Wow, it's achieved something amazing in no time at all.
Okay to release the airspace.
Have a bit of a signal drop off here.
Copy that.
We'll see what this means. But yeah, so far looking good. Looking good, giving us an impression of what the payload looks like. Multiple portions, of course, to this because there are so many customers on board. It's also showing us the amount of fuel it has left. Wow, lots of details that we don't ordinarily get from most companies. Very cool. Virgin Orbit versus Rocket Lab. Yep. Yeah, right now they're just showing us some data at the moment in terms of where we are and where stage 2 is located and how much fuel remains before our drops occur, before the deployment goes.
Estimated LD on control, taking back over control of Wally PTZ for...
well, they still have a fair amount of a burn remaining. It was looking nominal before, but once again, we never know, guys. We never know. This is a very, very important launch, to say the least. To say the least. A big, big deal. No indication that anything is going bad.
Base LE1 just would like to congratulate Jamie and Emily Eckstein on their anniversary today.
Right now, they're just issuing congratulations to employees. There is no evidence whatsoever that we have anything that isn't nominal with this launch. We'll be able to see all the payloads, even though there's classified. We should, gaming nerd. The reason is that there is nothing about the military payload that is sensitive from a visual standpoint. All the stuff is internal. They've actually shown us pictures of what it looks like. So shouldn't be an issue.
Copy that. Thanks for your service. CNC1.
Hard to say if we're running into that. It's currently at an altitude of about 237 kilometers. Now, would they be showing the public this if it was out of corridor? If we were looking at something problematic? Hard to say. Yes, I would agree with you, Pedro. The capstone mission is incredibly important for Rocket Lab and for...
LD, this is CNC on control room.
LC copies on control.
LC, I just wanted to make sure that it's okay for me to start transferring some data.
So far, everything's still looking very solid.
LC's okay with data transfer.
Okay, thanks, Inward.
LC, this is IT on control room.
You know, Gaming Nerd, another thing to consider, even a huge nation from Brazil has never, like Brazil has never successfully sent up a satellite. And so they have contracted, guess who? Virgin Orbit to send up a satellite from Brazil. They're getting a spaceport ready to accommodate Cosmic Girl or something similar to it. So they have been secured by the Brazilians to send up their first satellite. And who knows, maybe Ireland is going to do the very same thing. Once again, we can't say...
Pad engineer on control room for LC.
Copy on control.
Hey, do we have permission to basically go back on site and save the site?
Stand by. LC on control of pad engineer, you do.
Copy that. All right, I'll start assembling second shift Wolfpack, and we'll go in.
Copy. Can you also let covered 6 know that we're no longer in HAZOPS? They could take down the roadblocks.
Okay.
So far, nothing to indicate from any information that I've been receiving that we have anything less than a mission that is going to work out.
Starting in Mojave, we use our own telemetry dish in our Mojave facility to track our takeoff. As we move into our
today's mission, we've enlisted the help of ground stations around the world. Starting in Mojave, we use our own telemetry dish in our Mojave facility to track our takeoff. As we moved into our racetrack,
as well as dishes and monitors. All of these are helping us track our mission, making sure that we're okay. But just be aware that there will be a couple of breaks in getting live data, but we will update you all as we know all the details of how it's going.
Once again, we're not certain. I have to admit, I am a bit nervous, but at the same time, I am not going to give up just yet. We have, once again, they have, at least according to the records, plenty of fuel to do a corrective burn if that's what's necessary. If they did not achieve desired orbit, it is tough to tell. And I'm glad you're enjoying it, Arnold. Regardless of whether this goes successfully or not, I'm very glad that you're enjoying it. And keep in mind, just because a rocket doesn't just
Yes, and I'll be following the protocol and taking care of that data.
Are you switching with plane 2?
I'll be on control. Yes, and I'll be following the protocol and taking care of that data download later.
Sorry, just listening in a little bit on what was going on there. You know, just because we don't necessarily have the nominal orbital path doesn't mean that there can't be corrections made. This is actually something that happens with a great deal of frequency. One of the reasons why they might have the spare fuel to do a corrective burn, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Once again, very difficult to tell regardless. For those of you just joining us, Virgin Orbit already launched. But yeah, we don't know. We don't know. Once again, all we can do is guess. It did seem to drift off of a nominal trajectory, which of course is not thrilling. But at the same time, we can't say for certain. We just can't say for certain what's going to happen. So right now, we don't know if anything's wrong with the rocket. All we can do is guess. Right now, the rocket is largely passed out of the perspective of the tracking stations.
Welcome back, everyone. Wow, that was just so amazing and so exciting to see Launcher 1 make it to space yet again. And right now we have two very special guests. Wow, that was just so amazing and very so exciting. Very much. Sir Richard Branson, who is the founder of the Virgin Group.
Richard Branson coming online with us. Hello, Sir Richard.
Sir Richard Branson, who is the founder of the Virgin Group.
So let's see, are they putting on a brave face?
Welcome, guys. How are you doing?
Are they putting on a brave face? Are they scared half to death? I would say if there's anybody who's capable of keeping on a good game face, it would be Sir Richard.
So brilliant to be here. I must admit, I'm a little biased. It was, there we are, with a Virgin Atlantic 747 flying, and the drop took place bang on 7.
That's funny. Sir Richard just said that he enjoyed seeing 747 take off more than anything. I wonder where he is. I wonder if he was there at the spaceport watching it take off with me.
Magical. And obviously, the mission's not quite completed, but so far it's just so good.
We're on our way. We're in space and in orbit. We've got one more burn to do in about 16, 17 minutes, but who's counting? And to get our customers into their final orbit.
It's for members of the public who are watching. Just
all right. So here it is from the guys themselves. The Launcher 1 is remaining in a rather.
Putting the satellites into position.
It's waiting for another burn. It's going to execute another burn to get its customers into the desired orbit. And remember, we saw a fair amount of spare fuel left over. So even if there is some drifting involved, there have been occasions where secondary stages on Atlas V's, well, this happened once, and Atlas V had a complete failure of the second stage, and yet the payload managed to get the rest of the way to orbit. So we really don't know. We really don't know. But once again, I'm thinking that it's looking very, very positive. But I'm staying here with you. I'm staying online with you at the moment.
That was great. Thanks to the whole team.
Because I'm just that damn interested. Right now, I've been up for 4 hours at the moment. And just very happy that I'm still going strong. Doing some more research. By the way, I would be more than happy, since we have nearly 200 people still watching, to take more questions about the payloads, especially about Sat Revolution. I would be very, very interested.
hopefully going to become
to see what happens. And yes, that's true. Sir Richard would put out a great poker face regardless of what was going on, even if it was going completely south.
The system fundamentally works.
So we'll see.
There is so many people that need satellites in space, and we're going to be able to deliver. So.
Yeah, well, Joshua, the stock Virgin Orbit is not gone public yet on the stock. They are still privately owned. Virgin Galactic, on the other hand, is public. I actually have a little stock in Virgin Galactic, which shot through the roof. So that was a very good thing, and it shot through the roof because the FAA gave approval for Spaceship Two or the VSS Unity to carry commercial passengers. So yeah, interesting stuff. Where is that ludicrous speed when you need it?
One little irony I had today. The Virgin Atlantic.
Telemetry in the back of the left camera still hasn't updated. Once again, they are using multiple tracking stations. There could come a point to where the rocket has passed beyond the horizon and telemetry becomes available to another station. It's very, very interesting. And yes, I agree with you, Keith. I think, based on what I saw, I think they have more than enough fuel in the second stage in order to get things back on track with the second burn. But we shall see.
Incredible teams that Virgin always.
The good news is it dropped. It made it to orbit. It did something that Blue Origin still hasn't done, and I'm going to say that over and over again until they finally do go to orbit. When they do this silly little New Shepard thing, whatever. I am not impressed. We are not impressed.
Anyway, cheers. Well done, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
So I'm hanging in here with you guys until we get an idea as to whether or not this is going to be truly successful. But really, what a huge adrenaline pumping experience this has been, driving me and everybody else down to where they had the 747 still being fueled up, still fueling up the rocket, and then all of a sudden off they go. And within minutes, they were in position on the runway and off they went. Crazy, just crazy. And I hope that you guys were with me from the beginning to the end. It was pretty damn special to see that thing pass overhead. I was super, super excited. Yeah. Who's Jeff? And that's definitely something we need to be saying right now. We have a company, as I said, that was conceived back in 2013. So 8 years, all right, that it's taken them to go from, wouldn't this be a cool idea, to getting to orbit, as opposed to a company that's been around for 20 years. 20 years and still has not gotten to orbit and still has not even carried paying passengers yet on their little 10-minute suborbital bungee jump as I keep talking. Who names the missions? My guess would be probably Sir Richard has something to do with it, given that Tubular Bells was the first album released by Virgin Records back in the early 70s. I think that, by the way, it was crazy popular back then. It was at the top of Billboard charts for quite some time. Stork 4 and Stork 5, for some reason, on a little animation right now, which is kind of interesting. Maybe they are talking as if they're already feeling confident. And Brick 2, which is the Belgian deployment. So yeah, that's interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. So we will hopefully, they seem very optimistic about these things getting into place. And yeah, a Blue Origin can't get it up. Yeah, once again, that is indeed what Elon Musk said. And then he put in parentheses to orbit. Small launcher day, Virgin Orbit completes a second orbital launch. Relativity announces huge factory. Astra gets approval to go to public. Yeah, not only that, we also have Firefly Aerospace. Their rocket is sitting very close to where I am at Vandenberg, actually. As soon as all of this is done, I'm going to try to get some shots of that rocket sitting on the pad. That thing is going to be able to deliver a full metric ton to LEO. Thank you so much, Cameron. Thank you so much for your support, crypto and stocks. Really do appreciate it, and cheers back to you. I will be covering, I hope I can cover Virgin Galactic. It really depends on when it actually transpires. I really don't, it has been an expensive undertaking for me to stay here for the length of time that I am. I'm going to be here for a few more days. So I'm not going to be taking off immediately. But at the same time, as I said, this is a costly undertaking for me to be staying here. So I'll probably, even though you would think Mojave, boy, only 5 miles west, part of me wants to go and see if I can get a shot of that. Boy, I'd like to see a shot of it landing, to be honest. That would be something else. But at the same time, I would lose my connection with you guys, lose the information as to whether or not this is going to be deployed. Thank you, Anton Nim. Really do appreciate your support and jumping in at the 11th hour. Thank you so much, and wishing you the best as well. And this support, I'll tell you, it means a lot. Coming here, you would think Mojave, small town, not that expensive. Ooh, yeah, it is. When they have big events like this, their hotels are very aware of it. So yeah, any support like what you just gave me, Anton, that really does make the difference in a huge way. Yeah. They haven't, you're right, Craig, they haven't equipped anything on their own, and holding Vulcan back, once again, allegedly having issues with their engines, completely unacceptable. So what the hell? I don't get it. I really don't understand what's going on. They don't have a lot of jobs and to do right now, and they do have a hell of a lot of money. I mean, it's not like they're in a big hurry to get New Glenn deployed or anything like that. Big thank you coming up, by the way. Thanks so much for everybody's support. Okay, great. Thank you, Anton. I'm very glad that you were able to see the whole launch. Was just in the wrong browser, couldn't chat. Well, I'm very glad that you got to see all of that. And yeah, it was some serious craziness trying to keep up with Cosmic Girl. It was very much on a quick trajectory. They got their fueling done. They were just sitting there. There were people all around the plane. And if you remember what happens with Starship, if there's people around the pad, it takes forever before they're ready for launch. They have to clear out the exclusion field, all that other stuff. It is absolutely critical that they get these things done, and yet they're able to do it so much quicker with this whole horizontal launch approach. So here it comes. They're actually showing it to us. Oh, how very considerate of them. Here comes Cosmic Girl. They're actually showing us a live stream of it, so I don't have to go back outside and check it out. Very convenient, very nice of them to do so. I'm actually going to open up the window and see if you guys can hear it.
Stage 2, burn 2, prep start expected.
just opened up the window in the event that we get, I know it's kind of blotting things out a bit, but in the event that we get some sound from Cosmic Girl as it comes back down, I wanted to make sure that you guys heard it as it comes in for a landing. It is winging its way over and minutes away from setting down. So once again, thank you. 173 people still hanging in there with me. Thanks. I really do appreciate it. They're giving us more guests.
Welcome back. So we have another special guest joining us this morning.
Let's see if any of these guests look panicky.
The founder, co-founder, and CEO
I certainly hope not. I want this to succeed for Virgin Orbit in the worst kind of way.
Hi, Zagors. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing this morning?
Definitely an exciting. Hello, I'm really excited. So it's really nice to meet you all here in Mojave Desert.
So far, everything is looking good. It does appear that they are interviewing Sat Revolution currently. Some folks that I'm interested perhaps in interviewing myself, because they have, go to their website. They have so many things on their docket. It is just crazy how many things these guys are doing right now. It isn't just what they're putting up now in their constellation. And once again, in case you were wondering about all of this, the Stork satellites are capable of carrying CubeSats on their own. These tiny satellites that run off of 70 watts worth of power, a light bulb for God's sake, and they can carry up other CubeSats and deploy them as well. So amazing stuff.
That's amazing.
Amazing stuff, to say the least.
In the future, and finding ways to cultivate Poland's growing satellite community.
And a Polish organization. And once again, to remind you,
okay, so the satellites is doing imagery.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, Cosmic Girl is here. Don't hear any noise. Bear with me for just a moment.
When you have to crop the fields and when you have to put more water on the field, so this is really important data for our clients. We signed the agreement to serve like 2 million kilometers square for our clients. So this is
okay. So I've got the window open, the air conditioning turned off. So in case there is any noise that you guys are able to hear from Cosmic Girl coming back in, hopefully you'll be able to hear it.
The live stream studio we're in today is just upstairs.
Yes, I have been online for 3 hours. It is a tiring experience. And to my supporters in Yorkshire, I could not be more grateful. I am very grateful to them as well, to ASN. He does amazing stuff. He turns my silly little, my silly amateurish live streams that I try to do into something that is substantially better. So I'm very thrilled about that.
Companies are growing in Poland. We are the first one which building the whole satellites in Poland. We are the first one which are launching our satellite on orbit, but there are plenty other companies which are doing a lot of stuff.
And keep in mind, the guy that they're interviewing right now is one of their customers. And if there is a problem with his satellite, I don't know how open he would be to an interview at the moment. I think that I think some positive stuff is happening. Thank you again, Anton. I really do appreciate that. Still have 167 people watching. Oh, Paul, thank you so much for the £5. You're awesome. And like I say, this makes all the difference in the world to me. It really does. You guys' support is what makes these things possible. It's what gets me out here. And it isn't just Virgin Orbit. Virgin Galactic is right here. Stratolaunch is right here. Maston Space is right here. There is so much associated with spaceflight. There's deep space communication associated with NASA. I'm going to be bringing back a lot of other content besides this. So really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate it big time. In Yorkshire, oh, well, thank you so much, Funky Monkey. I've been to Yorkshire many times. One of my favorite places in the world, Yorkshire, especially Samuel Smith's. Samuel Smith's one of my favorite things about Yorkshire. It's a wonderful bitter. For those of you who have never tried Samuel Smith's and you like beer, even if you just here it comes.
Belgium, and he is going to be representing the Royal Netherlands Air Force.
Hi, hello. And I will not be alone. I will be joined by Jeroen from ISIS. So we have the MOD.
Just a vague sound. A vague
Great,
sound.
welcome. Thank you so much for joining. How is it out there in Mojave today?
Exciting, yeah. There's still one more exciting point with the ignition of the.
But she's coming in.
Deployment. But yeah, we passed already many critical phases, so I'm relieved. Of course, we were full confidence. But,
things are looking nominal, guys.
Great day.
Yeah, I hope you have been enjoying the festivities up there. I've heard that they are going great.
Things are definitely looking nominal.
Talk to us a little bit about
So I can't really.
the Brick 2 mission and what it means for the
It's. I mean, in spite of the fact that there was some warning signs at the beginning, things are looking up definitely. Hey, Marcia, cheers back to Belgium. This is a big thing for you guys. One of your satellites, a critical one, is going up on this. So yeah. Yeah, this is an important cargo for you folks. So looking interested in that at all. So yeah, exciting stuff. As I say, this is a critical launch, critical customers for Virgin Orbit. If they are successful, they are going to be blowing it out. And keep in mind, I'm going to be doing a quick overview of everything that happened, kind of an after-action report. Virgin Orbit is actually sending me some information, I guess some inside documentation, that sort of thing, or footage, pictures, that sort of thing. I've gotten that commitment from their public relations guys, so I'm excited about that. They are also talking about inviting me out to the next flight under a press pass. They had no outside press permitted for this launch because of the military nature of it, but that doesn't mean that something isn't going to happen. It would appear that that Virgin Galactic, the Cosmic Girl has sat down. Our summers of last 5 years haven't returned. I'd rather be up north. Love Scotland. I do love Scotland as well. I've been there many times. I love that place from the borderlands up to Inverness. Oh, thank you so much, Marcia. Thank you for being a Patreon. It's all in the description if you want to be. And Patreon members, really soon, in the next 24 to 48 hours, I'm doing an exclusive Patreon Discord discussion. People will be able to watch afterwards the recorded version, but we're going to have a discussion where Discord folks can come online, actually ask me questions and that, and you can join Patreon for $3 a month. It's a very inexpensive thing if you want to do that, and it's all in the description.
And a regular customer of
So that means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining our little family.
Thank you so much for joining us, both of you.
So 170 people, a lot of hair cream
I'm going to let you both go back to your festivities.
That's funny.
I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.
Here she
We'll get
comes.
Updates for you all soon on how we're doing with deployment.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Here she comes.
Thank you so much.
Of course, for all I know, that happened a while ago. Nope. May be able to hear a little bit of noise from inside my hotel room. Yes, Cosmic Girls safely back on the ground. Since I've been hanging out with you guys, I heard it land rather than watching it land, but that's okay. The takeoff was far more impressive. The takeoff was something else, and man, it happened fast. It happened so damn quickly. I really can't believe it. They had the thing fueled up and gone in minutes. I barely had any time whatsoever to react to this. So, yeah, definitely something else. Good. I'm glad you were able to hear that. I'm glad you were able to hear that. By the way, 165 people still joining me. Thanks, guys. Really do appreciate it. I'm just hanging out here with you with this live stream. Please like, please subscribe. And a comment was just made about the moon. Just so you know, Virgin Orbit has plans for lunar satellites. As I mentioned before, their third stage is going to be using solar electric energy, a solar electric ion engine, which is going to, it's a slow burn, but it's going to produce a lot more thrust for a lot less fuel over time. This is going to allow them to deliver payloads as much as 150 kilograms to lunar orbit. So you're looking at going to the moon for maybe $12 million, 150 kilograms. You know, if your small sat weighs in at 50 kilograms, that sort of thing, you're going to the moon pretty doggone cheap. Now, obviously, it is a lunar orbit, but very few people are going to be able to send satellites to the moon for that kind of price once Virgin Orbit has the capability to accomplish that. And they're working on it right now, and they just received money in order to accomplish it. So, yeah. definitely interesting stuff.
Tell the story.
And by the way,
of our
keep the
mission.
chats coming. Keep
Check
the
out this video
questions
up next
coming.
to learn more about our mission name.
I really do appreciate it.
If you think of the history of the Virgin Group, it really all starts with Tubular Bells. I mean, you
Really do
have this
appreciate you
iconic
folks
piece of music
hanging in there with
that
me.
nobody would publish.
Thanks very much for being understanding in terms of all of the running around and that sort of thing. At least we didn't have a lot of shakiness this time. And we actually got to see Cosmic Girl take off, so that was a cool thing. Send Elon to the moon. I'll pay $28 million for that. Yeah, well, like I say, I obviously, human beings can't be sent to the moon by this, but 150 kilograms worth of satellites with, today's micro miniaturization, that's impressive stuff. Bear with me, I'm going to go ahead and blot out this really bright light behind me now.
Hearing the tape, just thinking it was hauntingly gorgeous, and we just thought, well, maybe we should try to start a record company just to put out Tubular Bells. We had John Peel played in the whole album. He was captivated by it.
Anything he plays, everybody would say, all right, well, this is important, we're going to listen to it. And when you play the entire album...
And I'm back. They interviewing people from Tubular Bells now. Kind of looks like that's what they're doing. So we should have some confirmation as to whether or not this is nominal. Marsha, that's why I'm still here. That's why I'm still online. It's great to see the inspiration of Tubular Bells and all that, but I'm waiting. So far, everything is looking very positive. Everything is looking nominal. Does that mean that, everything is going to be fine? I haven't the slightest idea. I am checking Twitter now to see if there's any new announcements rather. Okay, so all of this is completed. Newton 4, the very upper stage that deploys the payload, that is going to be burning one last burn in order to get the payload into the proper SSO orbit. And then we will be good and we will be nominal. I'm checking Virgin Orbit's Twitter account, which I'm, of course, follow it pretty religiously. And that's definitely looking good. I signed that petition too, by the way, about Jeff. I'd definitely like to be one of them, no question. And once again, over 150 people watching. Thanks, guys. Thanks. I don't know what to say. I really appreciate it. Please like, please subscribe. And I'm deeply appreciative of all of your support. Pretty awesome stuff. And it's you guys who have made this possible. It's the support that I got before I came out here. It's support that I'm getting right now. It's your likes, it's your subscribes, all of that. It all makes a tremendous amount of difference. So I really do appreciate everything everybody has done to make this work. So thank you very much for that. Right now we are still waiting. I'm still waiting. There's only about 4,800 people currently watching the event overall, so on Virgin Orbit. So that's a pretty good number, I suppose, but nothing compared to a lot of other launches that we get. Still more than happy to 5.5 years for Tubular Bells on the UK charts back in the 70s. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Pessimistic with no news. Yeah, maybe so, Matt. But once again, we have one more burn to execute, a fair amount of fuel in order to execute that burn. And once you're in orbit, it doesn't take much fuel at all in order to get a payload where it needs to be, even if it is somewhat off course. And this has happened a number of times. You can have the remaining fuel deliver the payload to where it's supposed to be. Everything is looking pretty optimal, in my opinion.
Down from both our Antarctic and Mauritius ground stations to make final confirmation of second engine burn and payload separation. In the meantime, we want to bring you one last video. I have a few more, but they want to
make final confirmation of second engine burn and payload separation. In the meantime,
so their Antarctic ground stations, as some of you may have heard, their Antarctic ground stations are waiting for confirmation of the second burn. So that is what is, very critical about this. So yeah, still pins and needles, guys. Pins and needles. This ain't over yet. It isn't. That second burn needs to take place, and it needs to happen at exactly the amount of time required, the exact correct trajectory. All of that is needed in order to deliver these satellites where they're supposed to be. And this is tricky. This is not some conventional LEO shot. This is a high, or rather an SSO orbit. And so in which case, for those of you unfamiliar, SSO allows for the sun to be continuously shining on the solar panels of the satellites concerned. That's necessary, especially for the Sat Revolution satellites that only operate off of 70 watts worth of power. As I've said a number of times during this broadcast, it is incredibly important. That something else happened. There's planes launching all the time around here, by the way. So there's definitely a lot. And thanks, Arnold. Thanks so much. I really do appreciate that. That means a lot to me. So happy to have you guys watching. Once again, any questions about this or indeed any other missions? I mean, we've got the new Shepard launch going on. Honestly, I don't think it deserves near the attention that this is getting. This is a launch that is quite critical from a variety of different standpoints. The Sat Revolution and what they're sending up is important in terms of keeping the planet under observation, crop productions, all of that sort of thing. It can be used for a variety of different purposes. Observational satellites always can. And this is going to be part of a massive constellation that theoretically is going to be deployed by Virgin Orbit, or primarily by Virgin Orbit. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. If this goes well, then they've got business secured with a lot of other clients for quite some time. If it does not go well, then it puts them in a little bit of it puts them in a tighter position. I mean, I'm assuming that customers are going to be a little bit forgiving since this process is still, in its early stages. But once again, you never can tell. You never can tell. I wonder if Virgin Orbit could be used to deliver emergency medical supplies to the ISS. Tom, I see no reason why it couldn't. Once again, the docking and everything might be a little complex, but they have the Canadarm in order to grab these sorts of things. So, it can deliver to where the ISS is located. It can deliver 300 kilograms worth of supplies, which if you're talking medical supplies, that's a hell of a lot for just a few people. So that's a good idea. Yeah, they could be used for that, I think. I mean, if they can get 300 kilograms out to an SSO orbit, There's no reason why they couldn't intercept with the ISS with at least 300 kilograms and possibly more. They can deliver at least 500 kilograms to LEO. So, yeah. And by the way, Rocket Lab, currently their capability is 300 kilograms to LEO, but with the kicker stage and with the photon, that sort of thing, that's how they get their payloads to the moon and, those sorts of things. However, their payload to the moon is only about 40 kilograms, whereas Virgin Orbit's projected payload is about 150. So we're looking at almost quadruple the payload out to the moon. And there's an interesting question as well. Could it be used to deliver emergency medical supplies to the Lunar Gateway? Maybe. It has the capability to deliver, or will have the capability to deliver, up to 150 kilograms to cislunar space. Who knows what sort of we are still waiting. Still waiting on any sort of confirmation. I'm also checking Twitter. Again, nothing new. And yes, that's correct. And TS Scope, I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing your tag there, but yeah, their competition is companies like Rocket Lab, but that competition is increasing dramatically. I interviewed a company called Black Arrow that is going to be doing these kinds of launches from sea launch positions. So that's going to be a big deal. And they're going to have the capability of delivering very large cargoes as well, by this standard, larger cargoes actually than what Virgin Orbit can deliver. So there's competition coming to this arena in a big way. And then, of course, we have Firefly Aerospace. They are in major competition as well. So yeah, there's a lot happening at the moment. Hey, we nearly have as many people watching us right now as the Sun does in the UK, which is a pretty big media organization in the UK. So, do you think the Lunar Gateway will actually be put into lunar orbit? In my opinion, it will be, yeah. I think that they have a very good plan for it. I don't think it's going to take a whole lot of effort in order to be able to do it. One Falcon Heavy can deliver the first two modules of the Lunar Gateway. So I think they have a very good plan indeed. So we shall see. Once again, we're still just getting more information. I think right now, the main thing is, are they getting the information that they need from their Antarctic tracking stations? They need to find where this is and set it up for the proper burn, etc. So there's so much involved with this. There is so much involved with this. And it's not like they have tons of extra fuel to burn. This is a small rocket. So you gotta make the maximum use of what you have. Still hearing some optimistic chat. So who knows? I heard an awesome. I'll take an awesome. Right now, it's just chatter about the ground team. So we still got nothing as far as that's concerned. And, you know, if you're wondering, you know, yeah, it would be real easy for me to just go offline right now and do this as a recorded video and then start getting views and getting advertisements and such. But I'm not going to do it. I'm staying on here until I get a good idea as to whether or not this thing is successful, or if it's going to be a long time, if we know one way or the other, or if we know that it's failed. You know, I am very engaged in this. Been excited about it ever since I took, oh, incidentally, that photograph, the thumbnail that you saw, I took that picture, as I'm sure you can probably guess. I took that picture from the highway. Was it day before yesterday? Everything's blurring together right now. So I've been very much engaged in this whole thing. Thank you, Anton. I really do appreciate it. Do you think that Virgin Orbit will develop a human launch air vehicle to the Gateway? I doubt it. I think that for human purposes, I think what we're more likely to see is a human-rated Virgin Galactic, a Spaceship 3 that does suborbital flights from one part of the planet to another. Sort of a competition for the Starship point-to-point sort of thing. Of course, the difference is that you'll be able to land this thing just about anywhere on any runway across the planet, whereas Starship is going to require
unlike Newton 3, where we have one burn, we have two burns on Newton 4. So we've been going through that coast period and have been waiting for the second burn. We're patiently waiting for all of that data to come. And gosh, as the rocket moves around at speeds approaching upper level Mach numbers and orbital velocities, it takes a while for us to get around the Earth.
The public live stream is being closed out, guys.
Here. Just so you all know, everything.
As you may have noticed, or you will notice in a minute, the public live stream is being closed out. They are insisting that so far everything is nominal, and they're waiting for the results of the second burn. So therefore, if they're closing out, they're not going to be giving us any more information, at least not live. I'm going to be glued to their Twitter feed, and you can expect a very excited short from my channel as soon as we get some positive information, or a very angry short if we don't get that. So either way, you can definitely you know, you're going to get a response from me one way or the other. But they are cutting their live stream. I think they were hoping to get, you know, information that it was nominal at this point, but it could be just simply that they're not having the best results at their Antarctic tracking stations. Remember what the season is. Remember what the season is in Antarctica, okay? It's winter there. So that could be interfering for all we know. So they might have to wait for the rocket to come around to complete its orbit to see whether it's automated. Remember, they're not triggering these burns to see whether or not it's carried out its remaining burns in order to properly deploy its payload. But once again, I cannot emphasize enough how important this mission is to Virgin Orbit. We have two different military organizations involved, and then, of course, Sat Revolution, which is going to be one of their biggest customers and based in Poland. And it is a consortium of agencies in Poland that also is using Virgin Orbit to go to Mars. So this is a big deal, guys, an enormous deal for Virgin Orbit. What happens in the next 30 minutes or so, or perhaps less than that, is going to be a big indicator of what the future of this company is going to look like. Once again, on pins and needles, and I'll keep you guys informed. Thank you so much for joining me. please give me a thumbs up. Once again, any support that can be provided. Thank you so much to those of us who threw super chats into this. I know times are tough. Once again, any support I can receive, and it would be greatly appreciated. And thank you to everybody who has supported me. So until this rocket hopefully does deploy its extremely important payload into orbit, let's hope it does, into the correct orbit. Until this happens for Virgin Orbit, one of my favorite companies out there right now, I urge all of you to stay angry about space.